topic for today's debate is, will reducing brokerage charges hurt or help the brokers? The primary reason we are having this debate is DD has always believed that reducing stress in the market will increase the participation of the citizens of India in the stock market and will lead to the growth of the country. For example, Dozen Diamonds has spent significant amount of energy building a system that removes the stress associated with the profit and loss and the fluctuations in the prices of stocks. However, another factor that has a big impact on the stress related to the stock market is the brokerage fees that is charged with every trade that an investor places. An investor is always wondering whether the brokerage fee can eat up all the profits that his trading is generating. And oftentimes, traders walk away from the market because of the high brokerage fees. The purpose of this debate is to understand the impact of that brokerage fees on both the thinking of the investor as the brokers. The primary purpose of the fee is to compensate the brokers for their facilitating the creation of the market. However, if the market was without the brokerage fees, there's a high chance that the investor would face much less stress. Today we are having this debate to basically understand what are the points for and against the existence of the brokerage fee.
So I'm going to start with the first question that in what ways could reduced brokerage charges affect the revenue and the profitability of brokerage firm in India? So as I just want to tell you guys कि इंडिया में जितना भी brokerage firms available है उन्होंने पूरा zero brokerage applicable सारे across the format या segment नहीं किया है. There are certain brokerage firms in India that implemented zero brokerage on the just positional side. मतलब अगर long term trade ले रहे हो तो ही वो zero है, otherwise नहीं है. Intraday पे पूरा brokerage लग रहा है. So that's why I just take the just one case from the US Charles Schwab broker. तो ये एक ब्रोकर है 2019 में उन्होंने जीरो कमीशन अक्रॉस द सेगमेंट अप्लाई किया था यूएस स्टॉक्स पे ईटीएफ्स पे और ऑप्शन कमीशन जीरो कर दिए थे इन लोगों ने. आप देख सकते हैं ये दिस इज द प्रेस रिलीज फ्रॉम देयर. नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू शो द डेटा कि जब जिन्होंने 2019 में इम्प्लीमेंट किया तो उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या हुआ. सो एज यू कैन सी क्लियरली 12.3 मिलियन कस्टमर्स इनके थे एज एन एक्टिव ब्रोकरेज अकाउंट. उस दैट रोज टू 17.6. वी हैव सीन दी 43.09% शार्प सर्ज इन दी एक्टिव ब्रोकरेज अकाउंट. और उसके बाद से जब इन्होंने इम्प्लीमेंट किया उसके बाद से आप देख सकते हैं द ट्रेंड इज शोइंग द क्लियर पिक्चर ऑफ एवरीथिंग. It is increasing in order. Or for your reference guys, I have mentioned the question exactly in the left side top corner, so you would be remaining in mind ki question kya exactly you can connect with this thing. So that's what just wanted to show you in this chart कि किस तरीके का growth हमको देखने को मिला है as a client. With respect to moving forward,
नहीं,
अगर
hold on, एक बार पीछे जाना.
yes sir,
What is the second plot?
second clause is showing the sir percentage increase or decrease.
अच्छा, okay, all right.
सो दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव शोन कि 12 से जब 17 गया तो 43% का सर्ज आया बेसिकली. एज वी कैन सी कि अगर अकाउंट्स इतने एक्टिव अकाउंट्स बढ़े हैं तो डेफिनेटली टोटल रेवेन्यू या नेट इनकम पे भी इम्पैक्ट डेफिनेटली देखने को मिलेगा. तो आपको यहाँ पर क्लियरली विजिबल है कि जब इन्होंने जीरो कमीशन इंट्रोड्यूस किया 2019 में तब इनका जो टोटल रेवेन्यू था $10.7 बिलियन. उसके बाद सिग्निफिकेंटली इट इज राइजिंग एज यू कैन सी क्लियरली. एंड एज फार एज दी प्रॉफिट और net income is concerned, so it is also growing apart from this particular session which was covid session. इसके अलावा अगर मैं बात करूं तो आप देख सकते हैं ये ईयर ऑन ईयर ग्रोथ के ग्रोथ ही कर रहा है बेसिकली. अब क्वेश्चन ये है ना कि अगर उन्होंने 0% अपना कमीशन कर दिया तो ये पैसा बन कहाँ से रहा है, आ कहाँ से रहा है. सो दैट्स वाई वी हैव कम अप विद दिस रेवेन्यू बाइफर्केशन. अगर आप इसको प्रॉपरली देखेंगे ध्यान से तो आपको यहाँ पर क्लियरली विजिबल है कि हर साल में इनका जो परसेंटेज रेवेन्यू है बाइफर्केशन के केस में ट्रेडिंग रेवेन्यू, तो ट्रेडिंग रेवेन्यू हर साल काफी कम रहा है. अगर आप यहाँ से देखेंगे इस पर्टिकुलर लाइन में नीचे साइड पे तो दैट शोज कि 15% 2014 में था, 13%, 11%, और ये जो ग्रीन बार दिख रहा है ये शो कर रहा है ट्रेडिंग रेवेन्यू कितना आ रहा है। तो 2019 के पहले तो ये कमीशन लेते थे, उसके बाद भी गिरा, लेकिन 2019 के बाद इन्होंने कमीशन हटा दिया, उसके बाद भी ये रोज हुआ है। उसका सिंपल सा लॉजिक था कि नंबर ऑफ जो एक्टिव अकाउंट्स थे वो बढ़े, उसकी वजह से ये बेनिफिट हुआ। और इनका जो मेजर सोर्स है इनकम का या फिर नेट रेवेन्यू का, वो आप देख सकते हैं कहाँ से आ रहा है। इट इज नेट इंटरेस्ट रेवेन्यू। उसके बाद फिर आप देखेंगे तो असेट मैनेजमेंट एंड एडमिन फी, ट्रेडिंग रेवेन्यू एंड बैंक डिपॉजिट अकाउंट। जंप ऑन टू दी जेरोदा पार्ट। अगर इंडिया में बात करूँ तो जेरोदा ने सिर्फ जो पोजिशनल ट्रेड्स है उन्हीं पे अपना 0% जो है कि ब्रोकरेज चार्ज किया है, जीरो ब्रोकरेज करा है। अदरवाइज आप देखेंगे कि इंट्राडे ट्रेडिंग की बात करें तो इंट्राडे पे उन्होंने अपना सेम रखा है, उस पर कोई जीरो चार्जेस अप्लीकेबल नहीं है, और ये 2015 में हुआ। इफ यू लुक एट दैट पार्ट कि बेसिकली ये लोग जो पैसा बनाते हैं वो कहाँ से बनाते हैं, तो अगर हम इस पर्टिकुलर चीज की बात करें तो डीपी चार्जेस, अकाउंट मेंटेनेंस चार्जेस, अदर चार्जेस आर आउट देयर, दे मेक मनी फ्रॉम, बट देर इज अ ग्रे एरिया। अगर मैं स्ट्रक्चर की बात करूँ इस पूरे पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, अगर इंडिया में स्टॉक ब्रोकिंग जो इंडस्ट्री है वो बहुत ही ग्रे एरिया में है।
Good evening, everyone. My name is Saif Rahman, and I'm going to be against in this topic that brokerage is going reducing brokerage will definitely going to hurt brokers. Now, the first question is, in what ways could reduced brokerage charges affect the revenue and profitability of the brokerage firms in India? Now, the first point is brokerage fees are a core revenue stream for Indian brokers. Now, if we compare our Indian markets to US market has a different, various, numerous source of revenue generation. For India, if we look at into India, brokerage commissions form the majority of revenue for most brokers, especially full service and mid-sized firms. Now, this is the data of discount brokers revenue generation. Now, there are three main sources. First is brokerage. Almost all the brokers in India has about 50 to 60 percent revenue in brokerage. Now, there are other revenue streams as well, such as mutual funds, investment, lending, and other services. Revenue diversification. So we can see there is 50 to 60% of total revenue comes from directly through brokerage, whether whether it comes from intraday or delivery. Most of the brokers in India don't charge in the delivery segment. So reducing this amount of brokerage will definitely going to hurt brokers. So in terms of infrastructure, compliance, and their other services. Now, scenario one, 50% fee cut. Discount brokers have 25 to 30% revenue decline, 10 rupees per order impact. Uh, Scenario two, zero all fees. Discount brokers 50 to 60% revenue loss, require 2 or 3x volume increase. Moving to second point, fixed and regulatory cost remains unchanged despite fee cuts. In India, there is you can see this complete description of all the charges, GST or SEBI charges or any scam duty. So there are numerous charges that also been evaluated in for someone to trade in Indian market. Third point, limited alternative schemes in India. As Nishant has told about Charles broker in US market. So if we compare US market to Indian market, they have multiple schemes, revenue schemes. They can share the order data to market makers, but SEBI usually ban all these types of revenue schemes. So India still struggles with the limited alternatives for revenue schemes. These are few revenue schemes such as transaction fees. Then we have interest on client funds, advisory and wealth management. You can see I've compared with India and US. So if you see the payment for order flow, 30 to 40% revenue stream in US, but on less than 5%, as there are certain limitations from the SEBI itself. Fourth is reduce. If you reduce revenue, it will limit your investment in technology and support and compliance. Smaller and regional brokers are going to impact it from this type of thing. Discount brokers competition has pushed few fees low. Many brokers operate on thin margins.
So, Isaf, as you said that brokerage was 50 to 60% of the top three brokers of their revenue. But if brokerage was truly the number which you showed, Zerodha and Grow would be drowning in losses, not posting records. But if you focus, what happened is that Zerodha's profit jumped from 1,000 crores to 3,500 crores after reducing charges. And this was post 2024, where I would like to give you the exact date that on December 19, 2024, they introduced margin trading facility. This was the reason why their profit would jump. It has nothing to do with the charges with the brokerage. Next thing is that Grow became number one broker with 5.7 crores users by offering zero delivery brokerage. Now, next is that Angel One has also reduced its charges and its client base grew by 6 times, pushing its profit to 1,200 crores.
Abhinav, you told about taxes, right? So what the point I was trying to make in taxes is क्या taxes को कम करना चाहिए ना कि brokerage. If we reduce taxes such as STD and SEBI charges, it will not drastically going to help the retail customer, but it will make something that we cannot take from brokerage. अगर brokerage ना reduce करके हम taxes को थोड़ा reduce करें, it might surely help the retail customer.
So the topic is to reduce brokerage, not taxes.
Right, right. लेकिन brokerage is important for them क्योंकि उनका infrastructure और दूसरी services रखने के लिए सो वी कैन गो विद द टैक्सेस और ग्रो की जहां तक ग्रो की बात है तो ग्रो इज फिफ्थ और सिक्स्थ इन टर्म्स ऑफ रेवेन्यू ग्रो के पास ग्रो स्टिल हैज द मोस्ट यूजर बेस इन इंडिया बट इफ यू सी द रेवेन्यू वो अभी भी पीछे और अगर ब्रोकरेज के वजह से ही अगर अट्रैक्ट हो रहा है कस्टमर सो देर आर फ्यू ब्रोकर्स लाइक शून्य और धन and they don't have very good amount of user base as compared to Zerodha or Angel One, which still charges 20 rupees as brokerage. So user also goes with the service and their experience rather than just focusing on brokerage.
Two things what Abhinav said does not make any sense. Okay, first thing, Zero does delivery brokerage, Zero does charge brokerage and delivery. Okay, so not Zero, Grow. Okay, Abhinav pointed on Grow. Okay, so Grow does charge brokerage and delivery. Okay, it's Zero than some few brokers who do not charge brokerage and delivery. And we have that information. Okay, if you want to clarify. Grow does charge brokerage on intraday as well as delivery. Okay, that is first thing. Second thing you said that brokers do not get any benefit from the taxes. That is incorrect. Till 2024, okay, last year, brokers are getting revenue from the taxes. So whatever turnover is going to the exchange, okay, from that they was getting some rebate from the exchange. So more turnover they give to the exchange, more rebate they used to get.
That's what I'm showing
Correct?
you. That is what does it
Mhm.
mean? It over here is a trading revenue. So trading revenue means over here is the like includes option commission per contract fee. एक्चुअली क्या है चार्ल्स शॉप ने कमीशन तो जीरो कर दिया बट वो
Mhm.
अलग से 65 सेंट ना पर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फीस अलग से चार्ज करता है तो दैट्स व्हाट मेक्स इट अ रेवेन्यू बेसिस और इन चीज़ों के अलावा फ्यूचर फॉरेक्स फिक्स्ड इनकम ट्रेड फीस म्यूचुअल फंड ट्रांजेक्शन फीस इसके साथ साथ ट्रेडिंग रेवेन्यू का जो डेफिनेशन मैंने दिया हुआ है यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी ऑर्डर फ्लो पेमेंट और प्रिंसिपल ट्रांजेक्शन रेवेन्यूज तो इंक्लूड इसको किया हुआ है तो इसकी वजह से वो जो रेवेन्यू है ना बढ़ा है और रेवेन्यू बढ़ा क्यों है क्योंकि नंबर ऑफ एक्टिव अकाउंट्स भी बढ़ गए थे So here we are discussing a crucial question. The question is that how might competition among brokerage firms change if brokerage charges are reduced? And what implications does this have on the service quality? So to understand this shift, पहले हमको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि as everyone has discussed that how traditionally the industry was working. For decades, the brokerage firms competed mainly through pricing slabs, hidden charges, and the relationship-based model, which as of now we call the RM model. High brokerage fees meant that the brokers actually differentiated primarily on what they charge or not what they were offering. See, but the industry has, completely changed as we have witnessing that the reducing fees intensifies competition. And we have also seen that every broker is been pushed to innovate and improve the technology. Now, when every broker, let's suppose that at every broker is charging the same or almost the same,
the only way to stand out is by improving the technology and the experience what they deliver. Now, giving one example is that the product reliability and no downtime. Every time we have seen that whenever there's a major event uh, in our country, let's say election हो गया या कोई भी major event हो गया, RBI का news वगैरह हो गया, we have seen that many big brokers like Zerodha and Angel One goes uh, absolutely they don't start at all. The orders don't go through. वो कहीं ना कहीं अटक जाते हैं. So this is where they can always play if they shift their focus from brokerage. Next is that speed execution. See, faster trade execution is especially for those who are doing HFT or any kind of intraday or option traders. This actually really helps because we have seen in the market where the market maker Jane Street was left out of the market, the orders were not going through at whatever the desired price the traders were putting. So next point is that the customer education. We have seen that Zerodha as of now is the only one who somewhere has a presence in customer education via their platform, which is Varsity. Platforms like Angel One, Zerodha, Grow Up Stocks have completely dominated the market. If you see here, here is the share of different business models in active account for the top 10 brokers. As of March 2023, we can see 25.8 million users were there, and out of 25.8, 59% was dominated by the discount brokers.
How might competition among brokerage firm change if brokerage changes are reduced, and what does that mean for service quality? So my stand is, if brokerage changes keep going down, brokerage charges keep going down, competition turns into a price war. In the long run, it hurts service quality for investors. So I'll explain this in parts. How competition changes when brokerage is reduced, what happens in brokers' cost and profit, and how that finally shows up in the quality of service that investor receives.
So India already has very strong competition among online brokers. A few large apps dominate. Reports based on NSC data shows that Grow now has about 26 to 27% market share of active clients, even ahead of Zerodha as the largest investment platform. At the same time, we have many small and regional brokers fighting for the remaining share. Most big brokers already charge 0 rupees or very low brokerage for equity delivery and charge a flat low fee per order like 20 rupees for intraday and FNO.
A rating report of Angel One shows that its cost to income ratio rose to about 63.5% in financial year 2024. That means for every 100 rupees of income, around 63 rupees is already going into cost like staff, tech, and operation.
2.0, the super app, which had n number of new features, and it was extremely powerful and it was extremely good in terms of UI and UX. If you see it over here, you can completely see that the cost to income ratio was down by 2% in the financial year 2023. So my entire point to prove here is that whenever see, Angel One does not give free brokerage on equities, right? It charges rupees. Even though it being a non-discount broker or charging on equities kind of broker, it has focused on technology, and the technology has given them good amount of rewards. So this simply means that whenever any kind of broker, if it's discount broker or full service broker or hybrid brokers, whenever they try to shift their mindset from collecting or extracting money from the customers like an ATM machine, if they shift their focus to implement new technologies and new automation techniques in their business, automatically they are going to be profitable and the business is also going to grow.
So Abhinav, you take the example of Angel One app, but for example, there is a small broker who doesn't have app, and for example, he's building the app, then he will suffer if the brokerage get lower. Like अगर brokerage zero हो जाता है तो फिर वो अपने cost कहाँ से, जो भी उसका कॉस्ट आ रहा है सर्वर कॉस्ट या होस्टिंग या एप्लीकेशन डेवलपमेंट का जो भी कॉस्ट आ रहा है वो नहीं कर पाएंगा. तो जो छोटे ब्रोकर्स है जो मार्केट में आना चाहते हैं, उनके पास यूनिक आइडिया जो भी चीज़ें हैं,
वो सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएंगे। जो बड़े ब्रोकर्स है, एंजल वन, जीरोधा, ये सब तो कर लेंगे, मतलब ये सब बिना ब्रोकरेज के भी सर्वाइव कर लेंगे। बट जो छोटे ब्रोकर्स है उनको यहाँ पे बैकसीट लेना पड़ेगा, या तो उनको कुछ और बिजनेस देखना पड़ेगा। तो यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम ये है कि छोटे ब्रोकर जो है वो सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएंगे।
So first thing, Abhinav, in your slide, you said that it was only Zerodha who provides investor education. Okay, this information is incorrect. Okay. Multiple brokers offer investor education. Okay, one is Zerodha, other is Upstocks. Grow offers investor education, Shunya also. Okay, so there are multiple brokers. So you directly said only Zerodha. Okay, that's the reason I pointed it out. Second thing you said is about the other cost. Okay, so Angel One is a discount broker. Agree to that. But it's also a full-fledged broker apart from that. So they offer both the services. Okay, it's not like Zero the Upstocks who are only discount brokers. Angel One offers discount brokers broking as well as full-fledged brokers. So it has set of clients. Okay, that's the reason they have good source of revenue. Actually, this was shown by Seth in the first slide. Okay, so in case they try to reduce it, okay, now by more than say 25%, 50%. Okay, from 20 rupees they go to 10 rupees. Okay, then their margins start going down. Okay, so
अच्छा,
they'll get 10 rupees per order instead of 20 rupees per order.
ठीक है।
Okay, and majority of the brokerage, like discount brokers, I've seen as well.
What role do technology and automation play in the cost structure of brokerage firms and can they offset the impact of reduced charges? कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी और ऑटोमेशन का क्या रोल है ब्रोकरिंग फर्म्स के, जितने ब्रोकरिंग फर्म्स है उसके कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर में, और किस तरीके से वो रिड्यूसिंग चार्जेस को इम्पैक्ट करता है। सो यहाँ पे ग्लोबल फाइनेंस सर्विस बेंचमार्क्स का डेटा है, जो सिंथेसिस है, जो कंसल्टिंग फर्म्स है मैकेंजी, बीसीजी एंड ओलिवर वेमार की, उसमें हमने देखा है कि जो ऑपरेशनल ओपेक्स है उसमें से जो प्री ऑटोमेशन एरा है, जब टेक्नोलॉजी या बाकी सारी चीजें एआई वगैरह डेवलप नहीं हुए थे, तो उस एरा में किस तरीके से ओपेक्स होता था, और अब जबकि टेक्नोलॉजी है, ये सारे रिसोर्सेस है हमारे पास, तो किस तरीके से ओपेक्स होता है। तो सबसे पहले स्टाफ एंड पर्सनल कॉस्ट, तो उसमें सबसे पहले प्री ऑटोमेशन एरा में 55 से 65% तक खर्च होता था। तो कुछ डेटा पैक एग्जांपल मैं यहाँ पे देखता हूँ। एक स्टडी है जिन्होंने बताया है कि जो ऑटोमेशन और टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करने की वजह से जो कॉस्ट कट हुए हैं उसका पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट देखने को मिला है मार्केट में। जैसे कि मार्केट पार्टिसिपेंट्स बढ़े हैं, नंबर ऑफ जो वॉल्यूम है वो बढ़ा है, उसके बाद स्केलेबिलिटी बढ़ी है। जैसे जीरोदा, ये बहुत ज्यादा टेक हेवी प्लेटफॉर्म है, तो इसने अलाउ किया है, क्या अलाउ किया है, पहले से ज्यादा 10x वॉल्यूम्स के ट्रेड्स आज वो एक दिन में प्लेस कर सकता है, वो भी बहुत कम फीस में। ठीक है, तो ये सिर्फ पॉसिबल हो पाया है टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन के थ्रू। जो चैलेंजेस है, जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी है, टेक्नोलॉजी बढ़ने की वजह से मार्जिन एक्सपेंशन हुए है और प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी बढ़ी है। अब वो कॉस्ट कटिंग की वजह से भी हुआ है। यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे तो दो एरा का कंपैरिजन है बेसिकली, प्री ऑटोमेशन एरा और मॉडर्न डिजिटल एरा। मतलब 1900 से 1990 में किस तरीके से ट्रेड होता था, और अब टेक्नोलॉजी और ऑटोमेशन की वजह से क्या चेंज हुआ है। पहले आपको फिजिकली हर चीज करनी पड़ती थी, अगर एक ऑर्डर प्लेस करना है तो आपको कॉल करना पड़ता था, फिर वहां से एक
15
बंदा
सेकंड।
जो ब्रोकिंग फर्म का बंदा है वो खुद जाके मैन्युअली फ्लोर पे जाके ऑर्डर प्लेस करता था, उसमें पूरी प्रोसेस में 14 दिन लग जाते थे। लेकिन अब डिजिटल मॉडर्न एरा में अगर आप देखोगे तो वही चीज कुछ क्लिक के अंदर, 1 या 2 दिन के अंदर आप किसी भी सिक्योरिटी में इजीली इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो।
The motion before us is, will reducing brokerage charges in Indian stock market help or hurt brokers? So I firm Stanley by on the side that it hurts the brokers. So the popular story is that technology, automation, and scale have magically protected brokers from the lower fees. But in reality, in India in 2025, it's very different. All the brokers are facing falling revenues, rising fixed costs, and tighter regulations from SEBI. So when brokerage charges are cut in this environment, it does not help them. It squeezes their own margins and threatens their survival. So as per the IRCA Securities and Broking Industry reports, these are the causes and the reasons. So now the first point will be industry-wide profit margin squeeze. So let's begin with what is happening to the industry as a whole. So ICRA's latest research on the securities broking industry shows that net income is expected to degrow by about 5 to 10%, and the operating profit margins may contract from about 500 basis points in the coming 2026. year 26. So compared with the first half of the FY of 25, a 500 basis point contraction means, just for an example, for understanding, a 20% operating margin can fall off to 15%, which is about 25% reduction in profitability. The second point coming to is technology and the compliance are fixed, but the costs are rising day by day for technology. Now we may say technology and automations are making brokers efficient, so they can simply cut charges. But that sounds nice in hindsight, but let's see what technology and regulations actually demand. So SEBI rules on trading software and technology clearly require brokers offering online trading to maintain approved trading systems, real-time risk management systems, detailed audit trails for auditing, and minimum net worth levels. So for internet trading alone, brokers need a net worth of around 50 lakhs and higher capital and system standards as they expand segments and services. Look at the broader market environment in which fee cuts are happening. In 2025, stricter SEBI rules on margins and derivatives, higher risk controls, and tighter supervisions have reduced speculative future and options activity. So this lead to a lot of and lakhs of retail clients becoming inactive with existing trading accounts, but money control and other outlets reported these are discount broker traders. So together lost around 26 lakh active clients in a single quarter, highlighting a clear slowdown in the retail trading. So on top of that, SEBI's move to uniform exchange fees has removed the volume-based discounts that brokers previously enjoyed, so forcing them to bear higher transaction costs or pass them on in other ways. So brokers are getting hit from both sides, like lower trading volumes as well as high per trade cost from SEBI, even before any voluntary reduction in brokerage charges. Next point, evidence from the market leaders also. Some might still argue that big tech savvy brokers can survive and therefore everyone should just cut fees. But look what is happening with the big name also. Like India's largest discount broker, Zerodha, reports that its brokerage revenue has dropped from 40% year on year in the Q.
So Suraj, as you were giving the example of ICICI Direct in the financial year 25, right? So firstly, ICICI Direct is a full service broker. It is not a discount broker. Their entire model depends heavily on RM, that is relationship managers, branches, advisory, etc. So their entire high cost structure is hurting them. It is not the brokerage which is hurting them, or the charges of technology which you mentioned. Next is that ICICI Directs per customer obviously gets higher because their charges are more, as I mentioned, of the relationship manager, the advisory, and branches. So this is why the profits fell. It is not because the brokerage is low.
Okay, so Abhinav, first of all, I never even mentioned ICICI in my point. If you can see the recording next time, please refer to it. I was talking about Zerodha and discount brokers. So my point being here is just for maintaining technological costs. Right now, 3 months ago, the RAM, if you just wanted to buy a 16 GB RAM in market, you would have to pay around 8 to 9,000 rupees. Right now, the cost is around double, plus it's around 120%. A single RAM of 8 GB costs around 22,000 rupees. So just understand the scale of servers they have to build to keep this RAM cost high, and the technological manufacturing is reducing, which will overall put pressure on the current infrastructure due to the user base using the technology. Even not using, they are still present as an active client. Still that will incur the cost to the broker rather than the service provider, which in turn will have to be paid by the broker at in his end. So, and the second point what I was making to say was like Shunya, which was a zero brokerage firm up till 2024, had just started charging 5 rupees brokerage cost just to sustain their services. They have even mentioned a circulate which they passed to their clients in 25, start of 25, I guess, where they have started mailing the customer that we'll start charging you 5 rupees as brokerage charge just to maintain an infrastructure, not even to have become profitable, just to start and keep a infrastructure they are working on stable and performing well.
Finally, the beneficiary of all the trading is the exchange. जो भी
Yes.
टेक्नोलॉजी नीड्स हैं वो एक्सचेंज क्यों डायरेक्टली प्रोवाइड नहीं करती? व्हाई डज देयर नीड टू बी a broker layer in the middle?
So actually, Exchange was planning to do that. Okay, they actually in the year, I guess, 2023. Okay, they were trying to have a system wherein users can directly place a trade on the exchange. Okay, but nothing materialized at that point in time. So the main issue is that every user needs to be verified, the KYC verification.
अच्छा.
Okay, and to handle all these things, exchange finds it very difficult because currently they're managing the brokers. Okay, then all this infrastructure to set up, I think that's the reason that thing went on hold. In the year 2023 it was.
Benefits of reducing brokerage charges for retail investor and how might these changes influence market accessibility. Why lower brokerage charges मैटर फॉर रिटेल इन्वेस्टर। जब ब्रोकरेज चार्जेस कम हो जाते हैं तो उससे जो रिटेल इन्वेस्टर का जो एक्सेस होता है, जो पार्टिसिपेशन होता है, वो बढ़ जाता है। इसका रीज़न ये होता है कि जो कॉस्ट बैरियर है उनका एंट्री और एग्जिट करने पे वो कम हो जाता है, और इसी रीज़न की वजह से जो ब्रोकर है वो इस टाइम पे जो पार्टिसिपेशन है और जो पार्टिसिपेशन है इन्वेस्टर्स का वो लूज़ नहीं करते, वहाँ पे स्केल करते हैं। तो यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहा है, जब डिस्काउंट ब्रोकर का रेवोल्यूशन आया था, जब उन्होंने लो ब्रोकरेज का मॉडल यूज़ करा था, तो उससे पार्टिसिपेशन जो है रिटेल इन्वेस्टर का काफ़ी बड़ा था। उससे मिलियंस ऑफ न्यू इन्वेस्टर्स अट्रैक्ट हुए थे, स्पेशली मिलेनियल्स। एंड ड्यूरिंग दिस 10.4 मिलियन ऑफ न्यू इन्वेस्टर्स अकाउंट न्यू इन्वेस्टर्स अकाउंट भी आए थे बिकॉज ऑफ द लो ब्रोकरेज मॉडल एंड इम्प्रूवमेंट इन डिजिटल केवाईसी। अगर मैं इसका इम्पैक्ट बताऊँ ब्रोकरेज का प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस पे क्या होता है, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे जैसे कि जीरोधा का मैं देख रहा हूँ, जीरोधा का यहाँ पर मेरा वो है पोर्टल है, इसमें 400 क्वांटिटीज में बाय कर रहा हूँ, और बाइंग प्राइस मैं 400 क्वांटिटीज बाय प्राइस कर रहा हूँ एट द रेट ऑफ ₹1000, एंड उसको मैं 1100 पे सेल कर रहा हूँ। अब जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे ब्रोकरेज चार्जेस मेरा जीरो है, एंड आफ्टर कैलकुलेटिंग ऑल द स्टैट्यूटरी चार्जेस मेरा जो नेट पीएनएल आ रहा है वो ₹39,068.58 आ रहा है। अब सिमिलरली मैं एंजल वन प्लेटफॉर्म पे गया एंड मैंने यही चीज़ करा, मैंने 400 क्वांटिटीज बाय करा 1000 के प्राइस पे एंड 1100 पे सेल करा। अब यहाँ पे आफ्टर कैलकुलेटिंग ऑल द स्टैट्यूटरी चार्जेस मेरा नेट पीएनएल 38,997.78 आ रहा है। ये डिफरेंस जो पूरा आ रहा है वो ब्रोकरेज का है। एक जगह मेरे को ब्रोकरेज जीरो मिल रहा है, एक जगह मेरे को ब्रोकरेज 40 मिल रहा है। जैसे कि देखा हमारे पास पहले से इतने ज़्यादा स्टैट्यूटरी चार्जेस है, हम जब ब्रोकरेज अपने स्टॉक मार्केट में जब ट्रेडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म पे करते हैं तो वो भी हमारा जो नेट पीएनएल है उस पर काफ़ी इम्पैक्ट करता है, क्योंकि हम इंडियंस ऑडियंस है, हमारे हम बहुत प्राइस सेंसिटिव है। तो हमको इस पॉइंट पे भी जो रिटेन अर्निंग होती है हमारी वो वहाँ पे कम हो जाती है बिकॉज ऑफ द कॉस्ट बैरियर। रॉबिनहुड हमारी एक यूएस ब्रोकरेज फर्म है जिन्होंने सबसे पहले अपना जीरो ब्रोकरेज मॉडल को इंट्रोड्यूस करा था। तो उस टाइम पे इनके 0.5 मिलियन यूजर्स थे, जो 2019 तक 10 मिलियन यूजर्स हो गए। सिमिलरली हमारा टीडी एमरी ट्रेड करके एक प्लेटफॉर्म है, ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म है यूएस का। उन्होंने पहले वो $6.95 चार्ज करते थे, एंड इन 2019 में उन्होंने अपने आप को जीरो ब्रोकरेज पर शिफ्ट कर दिया, और उन्होंने ये देखा कि उनका जो न्यू अकाउंट्स का जो यूज़र बेस है वो 49% से ग्रो हुआ। एंड चार्ल्स श्वाब, फिडेलिटी, इन्होंने भी सिमिलर ट्रेंड फॉलो करा ब्रोकरेज का। ई टोरो करके भी एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जिन्होंने जैसे ही अपना फी कट करा, इनको 172% का ग्रोथ दिखा अपने यूज़र बेस का। तो इससे ये कंक्लूजन तो निकलता है कि जब आप फी रिड्यूस करते हो तो आपका जो वॉल्यूम है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है। इमेज पे जैसे आप देख पा रहे हैं कि पहला जो फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज था वो रॉबिनहुड को मिला 2015 में, जब रॉबिनहुड ने जीरो ब्रोकरेज मॉडल अडॉप्ट करा। उसके बाद लगातार 2019 में जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं बाकी सारे ब्रोकर्स ने भी ये जो मॉडल है जीरो कमीशन का, इसको भी अडॉप्ट करना शुरू कर दिया विद इन 1 मंथ। जैसे कि देख सकते हैं अक्टूबर 1 को, अक्टूबर 2, 12 एंड 21, ये सारे ब्रोकरेज फर्म्स ने भी अपना जीरो मॉडल अडॉप्ट कर दिया। सिमिलरली अगर मैं जीरोधा का केस स्टडी लूँ, ये पहला प्लेटफॉर्म था, ये लॉन्च हुआ था 2010 में, और ये पहला प्लेटफॉर्म था इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में जिन्होंने फ्लैट फी 20 पर ट्रेड को इंट्रोड्यूस करा, जिससे इनका एक प्राइस का जो डिसीजन था, इससे इनका इन 2025 में 16 मिलियन यूजर तक का यूजर बेस बन चुका है, जिससे वो अपने प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू 15% ऑफ इंडियन ट्रेडिंग वॉल्यूम लेकर आ रहे हैं। और ये इनके पास वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ एक्टिव ट्रेडिंग क्लाइंट्स है, दैट इज 7.26 मिलियन। तो अब जो ब्रोकरेज सेव करा, तो जीरोधा ने एक स्टडी कंडक्ट करी है यहाँ पे। उनमें उन्होंने ये शो करा है कि जो यूजर्स है जिन्होंने जीरोधा यूज करा है तो उन्होंने कितना ब्रोकरेज सेव करा है। अब उन्होंने इसमें 3 परसेंटेज लिए, एक तो 0.3%, एक 0.1%, एक फ्लैट 20%।
So this is the question: what are the potential benefits of reducing brokerage charges for retail investors, and how might these charges influence the market accessibility? Okay. So our stand is like the brokerage, whatever the current brokerage is there as of now, that should not be reduced, and the broker should use the brokerage for their benefit. Okay, for the benefit means to whatever are their fixed cost or the technology cost, brokerage should be used towards going for that cost. Okay, so that should be the brokerage. Okay. So if you see, if you reduce the brokerage, what is the current brokerage as of now? So the first thing is there are immediate benefits for the retail investors. Okay, so first thing will be that there will be lower cost per trade, okay, for the retail investors. Then there will be some psychological benefit barriers removed. Okay, so zero brokerage, okay, to remove hesitation where first time investors will start entering the stock market. Okay. And since it is a small ticket investing, okay, so more investors will join the stock market and will start trading the stock market. And there will be a financial inclusion. So more people, as of now, there is just 5% of people in the Indian stock market. They trade in the Indian stock market, then more percentage of people will start entering the stock market. Okay. But what actually the market requires? Okay, what is the actual requirement from the market? The first thing is the market requires a stable infrastructure. Okay, wherein the systems, what the brokers are providing, has to be robust and reliable trading platforms that handle peak loads. Okay. So that is a main requirement. So in case you're placing an order, the order has to reach the exchange when there is a peak load, when there's a peak system, like there's some budget time or say any other time. Okay. The order has to reach the system. Okay. So that system, that infrastructure required by the end customers. Okay. The enterprise grade cybersecurity, okay, which protect the investor data and funds. Okay. And fast and accurate order execution systems. Now, the main thing is when currently, if we say the brokers, they have reduced the brokerage to 20 rupees as of now. Okay. So if you see, most of brokers are charging brokerage. As Suraj had said in the previous slides, that Shunya started charging brokerage from January. Okay. They started charging brokerage from January just to maintain their systems. Okay. Now, for this reduced brokerage, okay, brokers started looking for different sources of revenue. Okay. So the first thing what they started, most of the brokers started selling digital gold on their platform.
Yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is that you mentioned that the tech cost will be taken care by the brokerage which the broker collects. So the entire industry, we have seen that it is the opposite. See, the tech costs today which are covered are mostly covered by the interest income and margin funding and other charges like DP charges, APIs, SLB income. It has nothing to do with the brokerage revenue. We all know how big is the interest income and margin funding business. It is way bigger than brokerage. So for brokers like Zerodha, they brokerage see somewhere contributes only up to 10 to 30% of the total revenue. Tech is maintained by the tech costs are maintained by the other 70 to 90% revenue streams. So we can easily say that the massive scale of low brokerage brokers reduces per cost user drastically.
Rahul had showed, you all are just focusing on the brokers which are in the US. If you have taken the example of Robinhood, 72% of Robinhood's revenue comes from payment for order flow. Okay, which was actually my next slide. Okay, since I didn't get time to say, that's fine. So payment for order flow, they get 72% of their revenue. Okay, which is Robinhood's thing. Prior to that, it took Charles Corp. Okay, Charles Corp has highest margin. Okay, they charge the client highest margin. Okay, so that is another thing information. We all took an example of Angel One and Zerodha. Okay, we all said that Angel One is charging 40 rupees brokerage and Zerodha is charging zero brokerage on equity delivery. But if you go to see Grow, okay, has the highest number of customers. What is the reason why people on Grow charges brokerage on intraday as well as delivery? Okay, what is the reason that customers are not selecting Zerodha? Okay, because of zero brokerage and going to Grow.
78 for Instructor Team, 82 for Product Development Team. Product Development has.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But anyways, the Instructor team did very well. Okay.
Congratulations, product
Actu-
development team.